Oh, what's going on, people? You know what? I just done? I pulled my stream deck towards me and I clicked the end stream button on the stream deck. It literally ended the stream. What a way to start the stream. Big up all the real ones in the building. Make sure we are hitting the like button. Do subscribe to the channel if we are new. Turn the notification bells on, all of that type of stuff. We appreciate every single one of you. We're going to be looking at all Premier League games. In fact, Liverpool and Brentford kick off in just over 30 minutes. I wanted to run through every single game, and we are going to be doing this from now on, every single Saturday morning. And I'm going to try and get someone else and other people involved in this stream, in fact. But I'm going to run through all the Premier League games, the big build-up, the Saturday build-up, and I'm looking forward to doing it on a regular basis every single Saturday. So make sure you join me. Don't worry, I won't have technical issues like I did earlier in the earlier stream. For those that are joining or watching this on playback, obviously you won't have been there to have seen it happen, but I ended the stream by clicking the end stream button by accident. Big up every single one of you though, man. Big up all the real ones in the building. I hope you guys are enjoying your weekend. I hope you guys are looking forward to the big one. When I say the big one, I'm not talking about Burnley either. I'm not talking about Arsenal and Burnley. I'm talking about Chelsea and Man City. The big one. And I have to be honest. I'm going to be on loan to Chelsea for 90 minutes. I'm going to be on loan. I need Chelsea to get a victory against Man City. I also need Brentford to do whatever they can to beat Liverpool today. I think we all do. Big up Connor in the building. Good to see you, my guy, man. I appreciate you each and every time. Hope you and the family are doing well. Big up the Flinch in the building. Big up Early Boy. I see you. Big up Ashley. Big up A. Big up the gang that are joining. We've got some interesting fixtures to actually run through. Obviously, Brentford, Liverpool being the first one on the list, kicking off at 12:30. I will be watching that. And that's going to be an interesting one. As I said, I want Brentford to do what they can to get the victory. Will Ivan Toney step up today and score? That's going to be interesting to see. He has been scoring in every single game that he's played in since his return after that 8-month ban. Still rumours there with Arsenal and Ivan Toney. Reports suggesting that Arsenal will go back in for Ivan Toney in the summer. So let's see what Arsenal are going to do. But the team has been put out. Let's put the team on the screen so we can see the team that Brentford and Liverpool are deploying. So they've put their team out there. Interesting. I just need Brentford to do what they can. Again, I'm on loan right now to Brentford. Yeah, I'm on loan. Only for 90 minutes, though. So looking at the teams that these guys have selected, starting with Brentford, we've got Flecken in goal. Is a new goalkeeper since we since we stole their David Raya. And then they've got Collins, Ayer, and Ben Mee at centre-back. So they're playing with 3 at the back. We've got wing-backs there, Reguilon over there at Brentford, Starman, one of the main dons over there. Interesting to see Reguilon, actually, because he went to Manchester United, didn't actually work out, and then he finds himself at Brentford. Then they've got Norgard in the middle there. Norgard is a good player, someone that causes us problems. Norgard is Odegaard's cousin, for those that don't know. I'm not even lying. Big up Trinidad and Tobago in the building. Big up my guy Ro in the building. Big up Abdullah. I see you, my brother. Big up Nari. Nari's in it. Dishing out red cards. He's the guy that needs the red card, mate. I tell you, he'll definitely say something that gets him sent off. Or he'll definitely do something that gets him sent off. Big up Alfie in the building. He says, Tony needs to step up today. I put my Brentford loan in today as well. Everybody is on loan at Brentford. We need Brentford to turn up. They've got players to make it difficult for Liverpool. However, they haven't really had the best of seasons. They've missed Tony, clearly, had that 8th month spell out. You know, they found themselves more or less just above relegation. Big up Youth. He says, I come in peace. Big up the gang, man. Big up all the gang in the WhatsApp group and the gang that are joining on YouTube as well, man. Yeah, bruv, them red card antics. You know Nari, bro. He's always on a red card thing. But yeah, so where was I? Norgard in the middle. They got Janssen there. They got Rorslev as well, and they got Marpe and Tony up front. And then moving on to Liverpool, they've got Connor Bradley in there. Oh, love to see it. Connor Bradley. We saw the goal he scored a couple of weeks ago. Phenomenal goal. He literally grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and made it happen. And I know me, youth, and other people in the chat have been talking about Arsenal's young players and their pathway and them getting opportunities. It was actually good to see Ethan Maneri come off the bench the other day against West Ham. Let's see if he gets another opportunity today against Burnley. Is he going to be on the bench? But yeah, Connor Bradley, for those that can't see it, if I can just scroll up a bit more, because I think Connor Bradley is hiding there. Yeah, there he is. So Connor Bradley at right back. They got Kellier in goal, Konate, Van Dijk, and Robertson partnering Bradley at the back. Robertson, I thought he was out injured. It looks like he's back now. And then we've got Endo, Jones. I'm not really keen on Jones, to be quite fair, and Alexis McAllister. I think that's a really weak midfield. Liverpool are. I mean, I think that's where they're probably gonna lose games in the rest of this second half, is in midfield. Looking at Endo, he's a decent player, but he's not that guy. Curtis Jones, for me, has been underwhelming. And Alexis McAllister doesn't have seemed to have adapted. He's not the Alexis McAllister of Brighton. Still good, still a good player, still a player that you don't want to underestimate, can create something out of nothing. But, I ain't really seen the McAllister of Brighton. And then obviously the front three, Diaz, Nunes, and Jota. And that's a serious front three. Nunes, we call him Darwin Noodles over here because this guy misses a bag of chances. Alisson injured. It does look like Alisson is injured. Waxes Salah on the bench for Liverpool. Let's actually check that. Let's look at their bench. You're looking at their bench. No Mo Salah. Yeah, Mo Salah is there. Mo Salah is on the bench. Mo Salah returns. Yes, he is there. And then you've got Adrian and Gakpo and Elliott and Simicas and Gravenberch and the rest of the Dons there. You've got the rest of the Dons. So yeah, man, this is going to be an interesting game. As we do know, I am a Brentford fan. I'm a Brentford fan for 90 minutes, and the rest of you guys are the same. Let's just hope Brentford can get something out of this game. Even if they squeeze a draw, big up my guy Static. Even if they squeeze a draw, we just want something out of it. Yeah, we need something out of this game. Come on, Brentford. Come on, Brentford. All right, moving on to other Premier League fixtures. What else have we got going on this weekend? We have Arsenal and Burnley. Of course we do. Arsenal and Burnley, 3:00 kickoff. It's a shame, really, because it's not going to be on TV. They don't do 3:00 kickoffs on TV. But we've got our fraudulent apps, don't we? We've got our fraudulent apps, and we ain't going to miss a moment. Or you might miss a few seconds because you know how these apps work. But Burnley and Arsenal, this is should be an easy one for Arsenal. Burnley have not been great in the league. They find themselves 19th in the league. Look, in their past 5 games, they've had 3 losses and 2 draws. It hasn't really looked good for them. Only 3 wins all season for Burnley. I can't see them getting a win today. Now, I know their grounds, Turf Moor, has been a difficult ground to go to for Arsenal over the past for a number of years. In fact, they've always made it difficult for Arsenal every time we go there. I can't even remember the previous results, but they've definitely made it difficult. And Burnley's never been an easy ride for Arsenal. It's never been an easy ride. They've always had that physicality. They're a totally different team now. We have to bear that in mind. They're a totally different team under Company, but they've always had that physicality. They've always had that aggression. They've always been intimidating. They've always just had that presence over us, and that's what's made it difficult for us, especially their fans as well. Fans can be hostile, so those trips can be extremely difficult. But I think Arsenal have got this in the bag today, man. Arsenal have got this in the bag. Even if I get a scrappy 1-0, 2-0, I don't mind. As long as we win, let's just get the win. It doesn't have to be by massive margins. It can be by small margins, 1-0s, 2-0s. I do want to keep the clean sheet. I think David Raya can definitely keep a clean sheet against these, man. They don't really have anyone of massive threat, do they, Burnley? Just quickly looking at their players. They don't really have anyone of massive threat. So no one's really jumping out to me here when I'm looking at these names. Lawrence Vigouroux, you know, man was signing him on Football Manager when I was in League One. Blood, yeah. I mean, there's no one here that kind of jumps out to me to say, but I do know they've got one or two players. They've got one or two players that can cause you problems. Do you know what I mean? They are a younger team now. They're not the team of old, as I said. You know, they are a different team now. So let's see how it goes, man. I do expect Arsenal to get a victory. And if Liverpool can draw, puts them on 55, we get a victory, puts us on the same points, drawn 55 each, and that's exactly what we want. And then if we can get a Man City loss today, that would be incredible. That would be incredible. Big up all the real ones joining the stream. Make sure we are hitting the like button, do subscribe, all of that type of stuff. We appreciate you, man. It's been a wild one, you know. I've been having late nights, man. I've been having late nights these past couple of days, like proper late nights. Big up J Dub. He says, yeah, we can't keep us from watching the game exactly, blood. We've got to watch them on these fraudulent things. Big up Rockstar, inshallah, my brother. Come on, we're gonna have to get that dub today, man. It's in God's will, bro. We're getting that dub. Big up Cameron in the building. No, but love and respect to you. Big up Chin David. He says, hey Wax, don't know if you follow Ozil's Instagram. Dude is bulking, bro. Hey, listen, Mesut Ozil was looking mad hench. Mad hench. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy that he's looking mad hench. His arms are thick. All right, cool. So we're definitely. I reckon Burnley's going to be a walk in the park. It's been difficult in the past, but I reckon we've got this in the bag. The way we feel right now, the confidence that is shining through these players right now. These players are brimming with confidence, full of confidence. They're going to go out there and absolutely slaughter Burnley. You know, them way there. But anyway, moving on to another game we've got today. We've got Newcastle and Bournemouth playing today. Newcastle and Bournemouth. Newcastle have had a tricky run this season. Surprisingly, they've lost quite a lot of games. 10 games they've lost, man. They had the best, defensive record in the league last season. Even though they finished fourth, they had the best defensive record. I think they've had the best defensive record since Eddie Howe took over up until the beginning of this season. It's surprising that it all fell apart. Obviously, losing players like Sven Botman and important players to your defense, is key, isn't it? And yeah, Tonali, there's situations at Newcastle. There's context there that, the owners can look at and say, you know what? Don't worry, Eddie. We've got you. Then way there. Bournemouth, however, Bournemouth's like a funny one. They've got a few losses and a couple of draws in their last 5 games. But Bournemouth started off the season poorly. The new manager, I don't even know the manager's name, but he started off extremely poor. They're losing game after game after game after game, and they finally got a victory, I think it was. And then from there, they built on their momentum. They started winning games. They started to find themselves. The manager started playing decent football, and Bournemouth are turning up. And now they've kind of had an hiccup again, and they're struggling again. And they've got decent players, Bournemouth. They've got a striker in Dominic Solanke, who we do know Arsenal have been looking at. They've got players like Justin Kluivert, who, in my opinion, I wouldn't mind seeing come off the bench for Arsenal, and replace Saka, rotate with Saka. He's of a good quality, and I believe in a Justin Kluivert. It's just hasn't worked out for him at the clubs that he's gone around, He's been around so many different clubs. Hasn't been able to, cement himself, in the first team. But if you look at the qualities and what he's actually done for Bournemouth in the Premier League this season, again, I wouldn't mind seeing him come off the bench for Arsenal. If we just quickly look at the Bournemouth team, just looking at the players that they've got, like I said, they've got some decent players. Tyler Adams is there. I think he's out injured though, ACL, out to the end of the season. Marcus Tavernier is a good player, as well, can pop up and get you goals. Alex Scott as well. Look at that. He's a wonder kid. He's been deemed a wonder kid for a number of years. Unfortunately for him, he hasn't blossomed. He hasn't hit those heights of being that guy. Did he sign for Newcastle, then go on loan to Bournemouth, or did Bournemouth actually sign him? I don't actually know. Do comment down below, let me know. But yeah, they got some decent players. They got Neto in goal. Obviously, Barcelona experience. Marcos Senesi, whatever his name is. He's been decent for them this season. I've been seeing him pull off some decent performances. So they got a team there. They've got a team there. Philip Billing, Lloyd Kelly. Lloyd Kelly's actually being linked with a few different teams. Lloyd Kelly's being linked with like Newcastle. He's being looked at by Chelsea. Like a few teams are looking at him, especially for the homegrown quota as well. You're gonna have to look at those type of players. Win the league or Arteta getting sacked. I mean, that's the motto. That's the motto, bro. Like, I can't see it any other way. Like, I can see it any other way. What am I talking about? That would be my expectation. Are we going to be forced into giving this guy a new contract and backing the manager again? Then, yeah, it looks like it. It does look like it. But I mean, my expectations would be to win that league or bust. If you can't win it, then you have to pass the reins on to someone else, man, because we're deep in now. We're deep in now, and there's so many things that you can look at throughout this period that we've had. And there are pros, don't get it twisted, but there are many cons that you can look at and say, you know what? Those cons are actually detrimental, especially like the profitability and sustainability issue. That could be detrimental. So let's see how we get through the summer. But yeah, man. Wax Bournemouth actually signed Alex Scott. So they did sign him. For some reason, I thought he signed for Newcastle and then was loans to Bournemouth. My bad. Maybe that was Football Manager. I paid Football Manager for ages though, but yeah, Alex Scott's a good little player, man. We'll see what Bournemouth does. I actually, for some reason, I feel like Bournemouth are going to get a result today. I can see Bournemouth maybe scrapping a draw from this, especially with Newcastle's defensive record so far. They're leaking goals. They're not looking good at the back. Now, this is going to be an interesting game. This is a game that I'm actually going to flick through whilst I'm watching the Arsenal game. Or no, not flick through, but I'm going to have it on another screen whilst I watch the Arsenal game. If I can get it on another screen, it's a 3 o'clock kickoff. I've only got one app. Yeah, I'm going to have to flick through. I was right initially. Yeah, because this game's going to be extremely interesting. Fulham and Aston Villa. Aston Villa kind of fallen off a cliff to a degree, and Fulham are playing some good football, and they look like they want to push on. They want to push on. Marco Silva wants to try and get European football this season, and I think Fulham have got a good enough team to do it. Fulham's got a solid team, in fact. You can't even underestimate both of these teams. And this is another reason why this is an exciting one to watch, because it's a team they're two teams full of quality, tenacious players, like really determined players. We might see a goal thriller here. This could be like a 3-3, 4-3, 4-4. This could be like goals galore in this game because there's a lot of good players on the pitch. And we're talking about from goalkeepers. Look, 2 Arsenal goalkeepers in this game. You'll have Leno and Martinez back in this game. We got my guy A9. You have a good two teams with decent defenses, 2 teams with good midfields and good attackers, man. So let's let's see how this one gets on. But I've got a feeling that Fulham might get over them just having that edge at home. Aston Villa haven't really been great recently, man. If we look at their Aston Villa have had 2 losses in their past 5 games. Fulham have had how many losses? They find themselves 12th. They've only got 1 loss in their past 5. So based on the last 5 games, if you're a betting man and you're looking at both of these, you'd probably say, look, Fulham at home advantage, same amount of wins, but they're scrapping draws. They was able to get out of a draw. They've got strikers that will find the back of the net. That's why they've got attackers that will find the back of the net. So on this one, I would say a Fulham win or a draw. I don't think Aston Villa are going to get anything out of the game, but let's see what happens. Aston Villa, yeah, man, just poor run recently. You have to be real. Even though they've got those 2 wins in there. If you actually look at those 2 losses, they're games that they should have actually won. They were easily winnable games for Aston Villa. Let's look at their matches quickly. Where are we? Where am I ahead? So yeah, Manchester United. I reckon they could have got something out of that Manchester United game, but they didn't. They didn't. They let Manchester United grab it. Scott McTominay last minute Scott McTominay, another player that, you know, has been under the microscope, scrutinized by the Manchester United fans. And I'm like, bro, this guy's popping up and scoring goals. I was talking to my boy the other day and I said, bro, I remember what you were telling me about Scott McTominay. This guy is on smoke. He's like, you know what? Man's changed his opinion on Scott McTominay now. You know? And I'm thinking, you know what, Scott, he's not even that bad. He's actually solid. He works hard. Like, if you had Scott McTominay and Declan Rice in a double pivot in midfield, bro, they could shut up shop. Like, they fully could shut up shop. Anyway, we'll get to Manchester United. But yeah, they should have beat Manchester United or got something out of the Manchester United game. Look, they lost against Newcastle. Like, it's a game they should have won. You know, you go, and it's weird because this is the reason. This is what I used to kind of be frustrated with Unai Emery as well, ladies and gentlemen. Whereby you would go to one team, you'll smack up one team, and then you go to the next team and lose or draw. It's like, bruv, how can you go into one game, slap up this team, have all this momentum, go into the next game and lose or draw? What kind of shit is that? So yeah, he's demonstrating the same patterns here. You know, you got this 3-1 loss to Newcastle, which they should have won. They should have got something out of the game. And then they go to Sheffield United and batter them 5-0. But then go to Chelsea and get slapped 3-1 and then get slapped 2-1 against Aston Villa. I mean, just on that basis, man, I feel like they're not gonna do well today. And just looking at that, they lost all 3 of those games at home. Unai Emery, man, all those games at home they lost. Even though they drawed with Chelsea here 0-0. Yeah, their results have been poor of recent. Their results coming into the new year have been poor. One scrappy win against Middlesbrough, 1-0, 0-0, 0-0, lost 3. Bro, Unai Emery's he ain't having a good year. He ain't having a good year, I tell you that. Today could be redemption day for Unai Emery, but I think Fulham is definitely going to be a difficult one. And then we've got Nottingham Forest and West Ham, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be another interesting game. West Ham haven't been that great recently. Have they woken up since we slapped them to sleep 6-0 a few days ago or a few weeks ago, whenever it was? Time flies these days. You know, them way there. So, you know, and then you've got Nottingham Forest, new manager, good players. They're kind of up and down. I think some of the games that they've had recently, they've been unlucky. They should have got more from the game, but they didn't. And there's a few teams like that in the Premier League this season. It just goes to show you that everyone's got quality. There's a lot of teams in this league that have got a quality in abundance. However, there's so much quality that you know, if you don't take your moments, you could find yourself in a position where Nottingham Forest find themselves. You know, I think Nottingham Forest has got a good enough team to really be scrapping, 10th, 11th, really put yourself in those type of positions. But right now we're seeing them 16th in the league, and they're not too far away from being in those positions, but that would be the expectation for me for a team like Nottingham Forest. I need to see you 12th and 11th, and I've got good enough players to do it. But let's just see what happens. Can Nuno Santo, be that guy? He's got Premier League experience. He's managed at Spurs. He's managed at Wolves. He's been in these positions before, so he understands what a relegation scrap's like, and he's been able to, play good football. So with the players that Nottingham Forest have got, I expect them to do better than 16th. West Ham, their results over the past couple of games have been horrendous. So they're lucky to find themselves in 8th position. I think that's just building a solid first quarter, second quarter of the season, that you can take a few losses, few draws, drop a few points here and there, and you still find yourself in a good position. However, if they don't turn it around, then they will fall. They will fall. They will see Chelsea above them. They'll see Brighton above them. Wolves can get above them. And obviously, Fulham getting something out their game pushes them closer. So, it's going to be a really interesting and really intense game for West Ham. They need to definitely get something out of this game. Battling Liverpool and City for the league ain't gonna be easy. Big up CJ says, question, Wax, do you reckon you are in contention to get Kylian in the summer? Listen, I don't know, man. Like I put out a tweet yesterday because, for one, let me apologize to people, because I was giving the audience misinformation, and that's only because I misread something. And that was an article that was published, I think, last summer, that suggested Mbappe wanted 200 million a year. Now, that was wrong, because the article that was published was kind of referring to the Saudis willing to give Mbappe 200 million a year. But what Mbappe actually wants is Mbappe wants, according to what I'm reading, is around about 100 million a year, or just under 100 million a year, plus a 100 million signing on fee. So that's about 200 million. But we know how contracts work. You don't pay a person their contract up front, do they? But you give them the signing on fee up front. That's what you give them up front. So if we were to sign Mbappe, we could actually afford it if we gave him a contract that was based on what he was already earning, which is about 1.2 million a month, sorry. Is it a month? No, 1.2 million a week. Is it a week? Oh, look, I don't even know. I forgot. I think it's 1.2 million a month, actually. 1.2 million a month, and pay 100 million, because what that can be taken from is the transfer fee itself, for the transfer budget itself. Remember, Mbappe is going to be a free agent. If he's going to be a free agent, that means there's no transfer fee. So the money that we were going to pay PSG, if we were going to pay PSG any type of money, as an example, could then be paid to Mbappe. We can say, you know what, Mbappe, here's 100 million. We'll give you the 100 million directly. Come and join Arsenal. And I will give you the same contract you was earning, the same wages you was earning at PSG. And Arsenal would be able to afford it, because you have to think, if we done that deal, firstly, we'll take 100 million out of the kitty. The kitty that we would have at that time, we can only assume would be around the same amount of money we got last season. But let's just round it up to 200. Let's not say it's 240. It's 200. It's 200. We take 100 million of that, and we'll give that to Mbappe. Mbappe joins. However, because we're giving Mbappe a large contract, as a business, we want to play smart. We have to play smart. So what we'll do is we'll take another 60 million from the transfer budget, sorry, and we'll put that to a side. The reason I say 60 million is because the report that came out yesterday is what Aubameyang wants. Mbappe wants. Sorry, what the fuck am I doing today? That's how you know I'm having late nights and early mornings, bro. That's what Mbappe wants. Mbappe wants 60 million pounds per year. That's what he wants. 60 million pounds per year. So you give him 100 million of the 200 million, it leaves you with 100 million. But as a business, I'll take 60 million of that 100 million, and I'll put that aside to kind of cover the first year of Mbappe's wages. I'll make sure that 60 million is there. Yeah. But what that then does is leave the manager with only 40 million left. But you've got Mbappe. You've got Mbappe and you've got 40 million left. Then I have to then sell players, don't I? And that can budge up the 40 million. And then we can... And things can work. So on that basis, I know that was a lot of waffle. On that basis, Arsenal can afford to sign Mbappe if they wanted to. Whether Arsenal were in the conversation or whether Arsenal were talking to Mbappe is a different story. But financially, based on what Mbappe wants, which is 60 million per year, plus the 100 million signing on fee, Arsenal can afford to do it in the summer. They can afford it. 110% they can afford it. Big up BX Gunner in the building. Nothing but love and respect to you. Arteta has put Arsenal in a strong position. If Liverpool lose and City drop points, it will be good for our weekend. Absolutely, blood. Guys, keep getting your comments in as well. I want to know your thoughts on the actual other Premier League games as well. I know we're all Arsenal fans in here, but let's switch it up. Wait, that's a bad boy, Mike. You know that, Wax. Leveling up. Thank you so much, man. Big up, Mad Miaz. I appreciate you, bro. Don't you think the pay increase might infect other players? Not necessarily, because I think the players will accept and appreciate Mbappe for the player that he is and understand why, understand why. And the goal for the players then should be, I want to get to that level. I want to get to Mbappe's level. I want to do what Mbappe's done. And I honestly think Mbappe takes Saka, Martinelli, and all of the players that we rave about every single day. It takes them to another level. You put Mbappe in that number 9. Don't put him on the left. Keep Martinelli on the left. Let Martinelli stay on the left. You put Mbappe in the number 9. If you want to put anyone on the left, you put Jesus on the left, or you put Jesus on the right. But you put Mbappe in at number 9, you play Martinelli on the left, you put Saka on the right, the front three is cooking to a next level. The chances that people are missing, the chances that Jesus and Eddie Nketiah have been missing since the beginning of last season, they won't be missing, or we won't be missing those chances, because Mbappe will be bagging every single one of them. Odegaard's A's will be crazy. The assist rate for Odegaard, Fabio Vieira, these type of players, they would go through the roof. Even Fabio would grow differently. So look, Mbappe is definitely good for business. Big up Leonora. Definitely good for business. He would sell shirts, and he has a lot of followers, and that's what could help Arsenal. Another way Arsenal can get help if they needed help. I don't think Arsenal necessarily would need help, but another way Arsenal could actually get help is if they were able to get Mbappe to sign with Adidas. If they was able, if Mbappe was convinced to sign with Adidas, I think Adidas could help fund the money. And I think that could work. There is some way Arsenal and Adidas could do a partnership with Mbappe, whereby Adidas are in with financing some of the P's. If the P is astronomical, if the P is too much for Arsenal to cope with, then Adidas can definitely step in and say, you know what, we'll back it. However, Mbappe has to sign a sponsorship deal with Adidas. And that could be some convincing. I think he's sponsored by Nike at this moment in time. He's sponsored by Nike. Who's Mbappe sponsored by? Who's his endorsement? Who's his main endorser? I'm sure it's Nike, isn't it? Big up here today. It's a salute wax with the crisp audio. Ivan Toney about to dunk on Virgil. No Allison or Trent. 2-2 draw incoming for Klopp. That game kicks off in literally 10 minutes. I'm going to put that on my phone and watch it. But we still ain't done here yet, ladies and gentlemen. We still aren't done here. We've still got a few more games that we're talking about here. We're talking about Nottingham Forest and West Ham. It's going to be an interesting one. West Ham need to get something out of this game. Otherwise, they're going to fall out of that European spot race. He is endorsed by Nike, isn't it? I thought so. Yeah, he's endorsed by Nike. So that could be a way of getting a deal done with Kylian Mbappe if Arsenal finds the figures astronomical. I personally don't think, after redoing the maths, again, for those that are joining, I told you guys the other day that Mbappe wanted 200 million. It's not what he wants. He wants 60 million. He wants 60 million a year. Pardon me, I've got a lot of wind. I'm trying to burp. He wants 60 million. So yeah, Arsenal can afford it. I know Arsenal can afford it. Let me get this game up on my phone anyway. One sec, guys. Make sure I got this game up. Here we got, yeah, so Nike. So that could be a way of doing it, just convincing him to sign with, make sure that's on mute. There we go. All right, game is up on my phone, boy. It's going to be an interesting one. Showing us Arsenal highlights right now. Showing us Arsenal highlights. Big up NBC. NBC. Big up Laurie Boy in the building. Nothing but love and respect to you, man. I see you, man. It's going to be a tough. We need to have our rivals drop points. That's exactly what we need. Right now, most of us are going to be Brentford fans, and most of us are ready to jump on ship with Chelsea, literally just for 90 minutes. I pull it out there. I am a Chelsea fan for 90 minutes at 5:30 today. From 5:30 for 90 minutes, I'm a Chelsea fan. I have said it. So don't, yeah, I'll find a Chelsea shirt from somewhere. It's mad. Big up the guys that are joining. So we're just talking about West Ham, Nottingham Forest. West Ham need to make sure they get something out of the game. It's going to be difficult for them. Let's see if they can find the goals. And the same with Nottingham Forest. Let's see if they can find the goals. They need to get more wins to find themselves out of this kind of relegation scrap that they're currently in. And then we've got Tottenham and Wolves. This is going to be an interesting game. Tottenham and Wolves, another 3 o'clock kickoff. Tottenham, I don't really follow Tottenham. I have to be honest. They're 4th in the league at the moment. I swear to you, I don't follow Tottenham. I don't follow Tottenham. I rarely watch their games. I've obviously seen what Angie's done, and that was the only reason I was watching Tottenham earlier on in the season, because we were just looking at Angie ball. I wanted to see what type of football he was playing, and it was good football. I can't lie. There were flaws in his system, and there's things that he kind of needs to kind of work on, especially in the defensive third, in my opinion. But yeah, other than that, I rarely watch Tottenham, and they're 4th in the league. They're 5 points behind us in the league, so they need a win. They need something out of this game. I don't think Wolves is going to be an easy ride. Wolves find themselves 11th. A couple losses in their last 5 games, but they've got players that can create something out of nothing. I think they had a massive game the other day. What was their result the other day? Who did they batter? Who did they batter the other day? Oh yeah, Chelsea. I forgot. How can I forget? But it's mad. It's things like that. It's like how do you go to Chelsea away? How do you go to Chelsea away, beat them 4-2, and then go to Wolves, and then go to Brentford, and get slapped 2-0 at home? Those questionable performances, and it's when you see those, it's like, well, yeah, can I really say that you're going to be up for it today? Because you don't really seem up for it. You're like bipolar. You're really bipolar. You don't know what you're getting from Wolves, do you? But they find themselves 11th. They've got Gary O'Neill as their manager. And I like Gary O'Neill. I like Gary O'Neill as a player. I liked him as a player. He was a good number 8, number 10. And he could play on the wings as well, right winger. So I like Gary O'Neill as a player. Never made it to any serious heights, though, for anyone that's asking. He didn't play for, I think he was like a championship player, more or less. Was he a championship player? I can't remember the last team he played for or where he kind of reached in his career, Gary O'Neill, but I don't think it was that mid-table team, perhaps. I don't know. But I do remember watching him and witnessing the technical qualities that he had as a player. But yeah, Wolves, man, they've got good players. They can create something out of nothing with the type of players they've got. Pedro Neto, a player that we've been looking at, is he back from injury? Is ESR back from injury? I don't know, man. I don't think ESR's. We're going to probably find out more closer to the game. When we get closer to the game, we'll definitely find out if ESR's back. But to be quite fair, I don't even care if ESR's back. Them way there, because ESR doesn't offer us anything. He hasn't come off the bench and changed the game or offered us anything, man. And I appreciate ESR. I respect him, but I just don't think he's the same player he was back in 2021. We're going back 3 years ago. 2.5, 3 years ago. The last time I remember ESR actually turning up in a game was when we beat Spurs 3-1 at home, when he linked up with Aubameyang. You remember that link up with him and Aubameyang? Beautiful link up. It's like that link up and that attack, that counter attack, and that link up was probably one of the best bits of play under Mikel Arteta. I see people the other day talking about Arteta's biggest wins or best wins. Like, I think that was one of them. That one wasn't even mentioned. But I think that was one of them when we beat Tottenham 3-1 in that day. The goals are amazing, and ESR was running Tottenham ragged. But I've never seen that same ESR again. I've never seen it again. So got Liverpool and Brentford coming down the tunnel now. These men are coming out. So yeah, man, Wolves. It's gonna be a tricky one for Wolves, man. They need to keep building. Let's see what they do. Bipolar performances, even on their last performances, they don't really look consistent enough. I think Tottenham's gonna have this one in the bag. Tottenham, they both need it, but I think Tottenham are gonna have more determination and more hunger to get over the line, to be quite fair in this one. And who do we have left? I think there's only like 2 more games left. 2 more games. Who we got left? Man City. No, 4 more games. We'll do Man City and Chelsea last, because they are the last team of the day. Sheffield United, Brighton. I think Brighton are going to have that in the bag. Sheffield United, to be quite fair, they've been getting absolutely slapped. They're just destined for relegation, sitting at the bottom of the table. They've conceded a bag of goals so far. 60 goals they have conceded. 60 blood clot goals, blood. Yeah, 60 goals. Yeah, it's crazy. Teams ain't even... no one's even scored 60 goals yet. It's just crazy. No team in the Premier League has scored 60 goals, but Sheffield United have conceded 60 goals, blood. Their defensive record is terrible. I feel like looking at the history of the Premier League just to see what people have been leaking. 60 goals is a lot. Based on where we're at in the league, they could actually go over 100 goals conceded. Oh, shit. Oh, Sheffield United fans, man. Sheffield United fans. Big up Aggie says, I just want to wish our Gunners all the very best against Burnley, and we should give them a 3-0. Absolutely, my Don. Absolutely. Yeah, Sheffield United, they're gonna get absolutely hammered. There's no point even talking about these Dons. They're gonna get absolutely hammered. And I think Brighton are gonna just that's tomorrow anyway, that's not even today. Oh, so there's 2 games tomorrow, 1 game on Monday. Sheffield United and Brighton tomorrow at 2 o'clock, and then Luton and Man United tomorrow at 4:30. We will be watching that definitely, because Luton, that's Darth Vader's team, and Manchester United, one of the rivals that are going to be trying to climb at the ladder. It's going to be interesting. Luton have had bags of determination, have had fighting spirit. They've found goals. They've found goals. There's goals in this Luton team. There is goals in this Luton team. If we quickly look at their team, there's 1 or 2 players that some Arsenal fans have said, yeah, we should look at, we should keep tabs on. They went to Newcastle. It's not even like they were at home and Newcastle went to them. They went to Newcastle and said, you know what, Newcastle, we're putting 4 past you, blood. And they went to Brighton and put 4 past Brighton and told Brighton, you know what, you ain't getting no goals, blood. Clean sheet. Yeah, you think you can come to our grounds? It's a mad thing. So look, again, they've got the spirit, man. They've got the determination. They beat Everton as well, 2-1. Sheffield United beat them. And when Sheffield United beat them, I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it, especially after the batterings that Sheffield United have been going through. I don't know what Luton were thinking. They hope they're not going to have one of those days tomorrow when they play Manchester United. But Manchester United themselves, going up against a team like Luton, I think they're going to feel the pressure. They're going to feel the pressure. Luton's going to make it difficult. Luton's going to make it hostile. Liverpool have just kicked off. Liverpool and Brentford have just kicked off. But they're going to make it difficult. They're going to make it hostile. It's not going to be easy for them. But again, one thing I'm just looking at here is that Brentford can find the back of the net. Even against the big clubs, they're finding the back of the net and they can win games as well. Beat Newcastle before. Like, come on, they got the upper hand. They even gave Man City a tight game. I remember this game. I was like, they gave us a tight game, as we do know. Big run for the money. We see what they've done against us. So yeah, Luton's going to be an interesting one. I think Luton could get something out of this one against Manchester United. Maybe scrap a draw. Manchester United should be good enough to win it, but you never know what's going to come in Manchester United. You're looking at their recent results. They've got 3 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. 9 losses so far for Manchester United this season. It's not really that great. That's not title challenging level, or even top 4 level. I can't even say that's top 4 level. I think even teams that are getting in the top 4 should be max losing 6 games in a season, 7 games in a season. Like, in a season, you can't be halfway through a season, you've already lost 9 games or already lost 10 games. But that's not even top 4 level, fam. You got to be real. You go and look at the Arsenals of old when Arsenal were doing top 4s. We were never losing 10 games in a season, blood. We might get a lot of draws, but we're usually losing about 7 games in a season, maybe 5, maybe 6, around those type of numbers, and still getting the top 4s with dead average teams as well. These men are doing up 9s halfway through a season. So Yeah, I think if Luton have their fighting spirit and the fans really get behind them in this game, I reckon they can get out of a draw. They can 100% get out of a draw. I should be marking this all down, to be quite fair. Literally, I'm just freestyling all of this. I should be marking it all down and maybe just send it to someone and say, just you go and put some money on that, see if it comes in. Just predictions. That doesn't have to necessarily be scoreline, just predictions. Win, lose, draw. Win, lose, draw. We've got Brentford, putting some pressure on Liverpool now. Putting pressure on him. And yeah, Everton, Crystal Palace. Everton's probably got that in the bag. Crystal Palace, sadly, man, I don't think it's going to work out for them for the remainder of the season. They're going to lose a number of games. Big up Roy Hodgson, he got sacked the other day, hospitalized in the same day. Man, listen, what did I say to you, man, like 2 weeks ago? I said it about 2-3 weeks ago. I said, you see, Roy, you should have just left Roy Hodgson at home, you know? How did this fraud, Parish, go and call up Roy, take him out of his retirement with his beautiful wife, yeah, and make it, come on, man. I felt sorry for Roy when we beat Crystal Palace 5-0 and they started putting all those banners up. I just knew that something was going to happen there. Roy would look traumatized. Roy was sitting there watching those banners like, blood, I don't even know what I've walked into here. What is going on? Should have left Patrick. Should have kept Patrick. I don't know why Crystal Palace got rid of Patrick. How can a team like Crystal Palace, you talk about a process, you're talking about, trying to build for the future and all that type of stuff. But Crystal Palace got an audacity to get rid of someone like Patrick Vieira. Your team was a nobody team. Your team was a nobody team, bruv. You had a few good players. Patrick Vieira actually got a lot out of those players. And you went and sacked him. Doesn't make any sense to me. Doesn't and didn't make any sense. And now you lot are just paying for the price of sacking Patrick Vieira and Roy Hodgson, man. Come on, he's gone again. He's been sacked. Roy Hodgson got sacked. And then the same day he got sacked, he got rushed to hospital, blood. I don't even know how he's been. I don't even know how he's doing. I hope he's okay. Like, obviously, I know he's not dead because RIP is not trending. Roy Hodgson RIP is not trending. They sacked Patrick Vieira a few days before we played them at home last season. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why they sacked him. And then you brought in Roy, sacked Roy a year later, and now he's hospitalized because of your sacking. You're killing the Don. You killed the Don. And I said it 2 weeks ago, man, leave the guy at home. But no, they don't want to leave man at home. But yeah, so I think Everton's probably got this in the bag. Everton have got a good team. Sean Dyche is, he sets his teams up well, solid, compact, got a good defensive shape. And they've got runners as well. They've got runners. They know how to get in behind, especially with their long balls over the top. The White McNeil pulling the strings in the middle, in the midfield, and I think Everton are going to have this one in the bag. But the main one that we want to talk about, which I'm on loan to. I'm on loan to Chelsea, blood. I'm on loan. It's the Man City and Chelsea game kicking off at 5:30 today. This is the big one. Was it streaming on Sky Sports? This is the big one. Man City 71% favourites to actually win this game right now. 71%. Can Chelsea actually get anything out of this game? I mean, we need Chelsea to get something out of the game, but are they going to get anything out of the game? Wharton have got relegated. Should have just given him a proper send-off at the end of the season. Just not even sack him. They didn't even need to. Listen, the point I wanted to make, actually, and I always forget to make points sometimes. They always pop into my brain. I go into making them, and then I forget about making them. But, like, it's a process, Crystal Palace. You're not a Champions League team. You're not a European team. You're a mid-table, avoid relegation team. Your job by the end of the season is to be mid-table. So if you're sitting in March and you're 16th in the league, what are you worrying about? That's where you should be. There's other teams trying to fight for mid-table, blood. So how are you sacking the manager? I just don't get it. I don't get it. If Patrick Vieira had man sitting 18th, 19th in the league, and the gap between that and 16th or whatever was like 5 points, then I'll be concerned. Then if I was Crystal Palace, I'm pushing buttons. But bro, my man was sitting like 14th in the league. He wasn't that low in the league. He sacked him. Morning from the States. Big up Wax. Big up to all of the real Gooners. Hoping to start my vacation with a win today and some of our injured dons come back. Big you up, None. I hope you have a great vacation today, man. Where you traveling to? Where you traveling at? The States. Lovely place, man. Lovely place. Would love to come over sometime. Let me know where you're traveling to. Yeah, man. Free Roy. Big up Roy, man. It's sad. Sad times. Darwin Nuno's just putting crosses into the box. No one's in there. No one's in there. But yeah, man, I'm a Chelsea fan. I need Chelsea to win. If Chelsea can win, I'm going to be over the moon. If Chelsea can draw, I'm over the moon as well, blood. The maddest thing is, you know what I can see happening as well, and I don't even want to manifest this, but I'm gonna do it anyway. Yeah, I can see. I'm not gonna do it. But I was gonna say results just going the wrong way, either result. So our result not going the way we want it, and Man City's result not going the way they want it. So we throw away points, and they throw away points, but we are not capitalizing on those throwing away of points, and that's what usually happens with Arsenal. That's what usually happens. That's why I say I don't know. Oh yeah, I've pulled it out there already. I know. I've pulled it out there already. But yeah, man, it's gonna be an interesting weekend, man. Interesting weekend of fixtures, ladies and gentlemen. I know you guys are looking forward to the games. I'm looking forward to them, and let's just hope Arsenal can make it happen. Let's hope that Arsenal can make it happen. All right, guys, man. Are we getting the comments in? Get some of your comments in. I've got another 5 minutes in me. If no one gets any comments in, then I am going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna wrap this up, man. I'm looking forward to this Arsenal game. That's all I know. I need to go and do a bit of shopping as well. So I'm gonna go and buy some bits from the shop, get myself back in time for the Arsenal game, 3 o'clock. So it'll give me about 2 hours if I get out of here at 20 minutes from now. We need Liverpool and Man City to lose their game in hand on Tuesday and Wednesday, respectively, against Luton and Brentford. We just need them to keep dropping points, and we need to keep collecting. We just need to keep collecting. Who's going to win the Champions League? Oh, interesting one. I'm probably going to put my money on Real Madrid, you know. But then it could be Man City. Real Madrid or Man City, I think that could be the final. Was that the final last year? They did play each other last year, didn't they? See, my mind goes blank, man. I can't remember these things. But yeah, if I was gonna say anyone, I would say Real Madrid. I will actually say Real Madrid. I think Jude Bellingham wants a Champions League. Jude Bellingham's gonna get himself a Champions League this season. Is Partey back today? I don't think so. Partey ain't gonna be back for a little while, mate. No matter what the media try and push out, Partey ain't gonna be back, bruv. Yeah, for a little while. I'm actually hoping that Partey does come back. They are saying that Partey could be back for the Champions League game against Porto. That's next Tuesday, I think. This Tuesday. This Tuesday. Next Tuesday. This Tuesday. Well, I mean, it is next Tuesday because the weekend doesn't start. The week doesn't start until tomorrow, actually. So next Tuesday. And my brain's just spazzing. That's what happens when you just don't get enough sleep, bro. I need to sleep. Smash the likes. Big up Aston. I'm gonna wrap this up now, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. A lovely little hour there, 55 minutes. Just talking about other Premier League clubs, not always Arsenal, but we are gonna do this every Saturday morning. I might even do it a little earlier. maybe like an hour earlier, so maybe 10:30 in the morning. But we will try and do it we will do it every single Saturday. And we'll just talk about all the teams and give quick predictions on what we think is going to happen. Smash the likes. Come on, guys. Smash the likes. Pick up all the real ones in the building. I see you guys. Big up Static. I see you, man. Take care. Mad Miaz, take care. Big up the real ones. Come on. All right, guys, hit the like button, do all of that stuff, and I look forward to seeing you guys later. Peace.